A note on The Economist. I'm not sure how much this wonderful media outlet, this newspaper, weekly newspaper, has influenced me, but I'm just thinking I'm sorry, a whole lot. Uh, I've started reading it when I was about 20. I was thinking to say how many years, but I don't want that. On a side note, there's this research done by Ellen Langer of Harvard University, which demonstrates that we can travel in time, we can actually become younger, so to say, in some ways. We can hear better, see better. The fingers, which are shorter with age, get shorter with age, can actually increase in size a little bit. I don't know, nanometers, right? Under certain circumstances. So I avoid, when I can, giving myself the feeling that, oh, it's been such a long time and I've been around for so long. Even if in her case, it was great to go back in time. The point of this experiment was to listen to the music of 20 years ago, to be surrounded by the newspapers, by the atmosphere and everything else, the conversation of 20 years back. So if I move to with this Economist many years back, then I can grow more hair. It will be black. We'll see. Watch this. So this Economist has definitely, as I said, influenced my opinions. More liberal than what I would otherwise be without this habit of reading it weekly for so many years. And it was in the early days, if not a fight, a difficult job to read it. I couldn't buy it. It wasn't available, obviously, but also it would have been rather expensive for a student and a man coming from the lower classes, people without much doubt. And so, I'm talking communist days, by the way. I had to go to the British library, which again, by the way, helped a lot. That was where I could listen to music, the police and others. Audiobooks, this is where I started this habit, which is probably even more important than The Economist, reading The Economist. Because that's one way I listen to, or read, if you will, great literature, not just a newspaper, like The Economist, good as it is, The Economist. And at the American library. At the American library, I remember funny coincidence, how small the world is, one extent to say. I competed for the issues of The Economist with a guy who was in the same class with me in high school. I mean, think about it. What are the chances? It wasn't somebody from one university or another, a professor or some student, a dissident. Well, there were others interested, obviously. But I tended to come into the hall of the first floor. I'm repeating myself, excuse me. And look around for this, what was his name? Stefan. Whatever. Because if he wasn't there, I was in luck. that meant I could go to the Economist and get it, and even more importantly, get the new one. New one being the one a month old or 6 weeks old. You never got the one from last week or well, the past few days, the fresh one, because I'm thinking it's logical. The censorship wanted to have a look, and if it's something on Romania, or they would just cut the page. I don't know. And if he was in the room, then I knew I would go to the stand where the Economist was supposed to be and get the ones from 3 months old, which I probably would have read anyway. I think. But it was such an important paper for me, and it still is.